Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the PodUp with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. PodUp, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning and welcome to a Friday edition of PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. We got a good show lined up for you today. Hope you've had a good week. We're going to kick it off here in just a second with Johnny Cornell, better known as JC around the world. Second portion will be joined by All-American gold medal winner swimmer Anthony Nesty, who's now the head swimming coach here at the University of Florida. Talk about his career, his coaching career, all that good stuff. But first, let's go to the Titan MR hotline. We're joined by JC. Good morning, JC. How are you?
Yeah, hey, QB. It's good to be with you on a Friday. It looks like we're going to have some sunny skies for a change around here, and I think the forward look is very bright and sunny here. So I hope things dry up and we can get outside and do some fun things. But, we're getting into the weekend, QB, and here we go. Another football weekend and, of course, the U.S. Open golf tournament. We've got the Stanley Cup Finals now in play. We're only 7 days or 8 days away from Florida's opener at Mississippi. So they'll be getting into game week preparations next week, and I'm sure we'll really touch a lot on that next week. But it's an exciting time. Late September, we're getting closer, and we've gotten some news now from the Big Ten that they're going to try to play football, albeit in a month or so. So October 24th. So, I think a lot of things to look forward to and a lot of things to be positive about. And, it started with that U.S. Open yesterday. That was quite a first round, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, my guys are kicking your guys' butts.
Your guys. Yeah.
Yes, they are. What do we? My guys are what? 11 under par. Your guys are what? One over. One over. So I got a 12-shot lead on you right now. I like my chances. But yeah, it's it didn't play as difficult as I thought it would. I watched a lot of it, but I was driving around and clicked on. They were talking about the U.S. Open, and I don't know if I misheard them or what, but they said that the greens were only rolling like 8 to 9.
Hard to believe that.
That's like playing a local a public golf course. They should be 13 or 14, and maybe I misunderstood the guy, but I could have sworn that's what he said. But they need to speed the greens up or something.
Well, I didn't hear that exactly, but I wouldn't doubt if that's what you said. Although I do remember seeing some putts that Tiger hit yesterday that he could have blown on the ball and it still went 20-something feet down a slope. Having said
that's slope causing that, JC. You're not used to slope.
But I think that if the greens are that slow, they're certainly going to change that by the weekend if there's no rain, of course, and if the thing gets drier, if the sun comes out and really makes them harder, maybe they'll cut them some more. But the rough is punitive. It is difficult. Certainly, I'm surprised that Justin Thomas was able to go 5 under on the first day, but he's extremely long, as we know. He's accurate with that length. And another guy that we talked about the other day who was really statistically not in many of these majors after the first round because he had such a bad first round was Rory McIlroy. But because he was able to kind of keep it together yesterday, he's also going to be in the mix. And he's the kind of guy that if he gets cooking with his length, that's going to give him a real opportunity to be there on the weekend and close it out. And McIlroy has been very good in these tournaments from rounds 2 through 4. It was the first round that really snuck up on him, and he didn't play well. I think he was a plus 10 over the last few majors that he's played, but being able to play yesterday and be up there. Look, you can't win the U.S. Open after day 1 or day 2, but what you can do is position yourself for the weekend, and we'll see what those conditions are like come the weekend in the 3rd and 4th round after they cut.
Yeah, we got a tie for the lead right now. Justin Thomas, who doesn't tee off until 1:27 this afternoon. Right. Thomas Pieters from Belgium, is 1 under through 4. So, there's the youngster Matt Wolff. Some guy's long shot pick is there at 4 under par. So,
like I said, you can't win it after the first round there, big shot. So just before you start racking up championships over here, let's just see how it goes today, and then we go into the weekend. One funny stat though about Rory and Thomas Pieters you mentioned was that they've just recently had baby girls. Okay. And when Danny Willett won the Masters, he also had recently had a baby daughter and won the tournament. Thomas Peters just got done winning a European event after just having a baby daughter. And here's Rory with a new baby daughter in the mix. So I don't know. I found that interesting.
Yeah, that's great. That's great information.
You had a baby daughter once, didn't you? Get to play football?
Yeah, but I didn't go win a golf tournament afterwards. I'm not sure where you're going with that. Last night, JC, did you happen to watch any of the Bengals Browns game?
I did. It was a very entertaining game, and the Bengals are still not there, but man, they're a lot better. I think Cleveland finally showed some offensive efficiency. I think Kareem Hunt gives Cleveland and Nick Chubb gives Cleveland two really solid running backs to get them on the ground, to give Baker Mayfield a chance to find some open receivers. It's nice to see Beckham finally get involved. Landry. I think Cleveland is an interesting team. I don't think they're going to win anything major, but Cincinnati's better. Cleveland's better. The division is not an easy division, I think, with Pittsburgh and Baltimore. So I thought it was an entertaining Thursday night game. I think really for the most part, most of these NFL games have really come off pretty good.
Yeah, I thought Joe Burrow, he's going to be a really good pro.
He's going to be a star.
I said it from day one, but he can't throw the ball 61 times. That's crazy.
It is, and he's getting hit too a bunch. And I think he's just a tough kid from Ohio who has really made a name for himself here in the last 24 months. And I think he's going to be fantastic, as you do. But you're right; they've got to find him some help on the ground. Mixon, whoever, they've got to get the ball running. They've got to give him some protection, and hopefully Cincinnati can win 5 or 6 games. We'll see.
Last night in the NBA, in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals, Miami goes up 2-0 over your Boston Celtics. So I'm not surprised we don't see a Miami Heat hat on today. Are you done with your Celtics? No,
I'm not done with my Celtics, especially after what Denver pulled. I don't think it's over yet, but I'm impressed with Miami. I don't think anybody thought they would get to this point, 2 games away from the finals. And I certainly think they are the surprise in the NBA playoffs, along with Denver. And I do think Denver and the Lakers will be entertaining as well. So, it could be that Denver and Miami end up playing for a championship, which would be shocking. But it would also be a testament to how evenly matched some of these basketball games are, and how good some of these teams are that, we didn't expect to play well. So the Lakers should be favored. They should beat Denver, but we said that about the Clippers. I think the West will be fun, but you're right. I think the Miami Heat going up 2-0 on Boston is a surprise.
Well, they're both the 3 and the 4 seed, so it's not that big of a surprise.
That's true. That's true.
The Heat has had a tremendous year. So, JC, we got we have a Facebook Live here brought to you by Meldon Law. It comes from Eugene. He wants to know who JC is pulling for now that 2 of his 6 of his favorite teams in hockey have made it to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah. The one thing that I appreciate from Eugene is that he knows I love hockey, and he also knows that I support multiple teams because of various reasons. I think Tampa Bay and Dallas are very surprising in that nobody really picked those 2 to go all the way. Maybe they did pick Tampa, who was the 1 seed in the East, certainly. But Dallas, I think, is a surprise. They've just come together at the right time, and that's how you win hockey Stanley Cups. You're a team that can come together at the right time, whether you're the 1 seed or the 8 seed. And here we have Dallas getting backup goaltending from the Russian Khudobin, and here we have Tampa getting fantastic goaltending from the Russian Vasilevsky. We have 2 teams that are relatively healthy. Dallas has had a few days off now. Tampa and Dallas, I think it's going to be fantastic. I don't know who to root for. I like them both. I've been to more Tampa Bay Lightning games, but I've also been to a bunch of Dallas Stars games for all types of reasons, and I'm just going to enjoy it, and I'll be happy whoever wins. How's that sound for an answer?
I think
it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
I'm just curious if you're going to have are you going to buy a Denver Nuggets or a Lakers hat or Miami Heat hat?
No, I haven't been to any of those teams' games, but I've been to multiple Stars games. I've been to multiple Lightning games, which is some of the best entertainment value that you've missed in your life. And I'll tell you,
I've been to plenty of hockey games.
Well, that was 22 years ago?
Yeah, but I mean, it does. I'm not a fan like you, JC. I'm not a fan who wears jerseys and things of that nature.
God forbid. I mean, God forbid you put a Chris Chelios jersey on. I mean, if you put a Chris Chelios jersey on, I don't know if your kids would be able to talk to you anymore.
They probably wouldn't talk to me again. That's why I don't do it. Refresh your vehicle and your brand with a vehicle wrap from Wrap Spot. September is your lucky month at Wrap Spot. Mention promo code Shane and receive 13% off your vehicle wrap. We're speaking with Johnny Cornell here on the Titan Tomorrow Hotline. We're going to be joined by Gator swim coach and Gator All-American and Olympic gold medalist Anthony Nesty here about 8:20ish. So, JC, are you excited to watch some college football this weekend?
I am. I'm thrilled about that, but I think the bigger news came from this week that the Big Ten has decided now 30 days after saying they weren't going to play and that they weren't going to even revisit the idea that they are now going to try to play an 8-game season. So my question to you, QB, is this. If they're going to play an 8-game season starting in October, late October, by the way, and the SEC will have already played 3 or 4 games by then, how is it that it's fair that some conference gets to play an 8-game schedule? And maybe there's more information that's coming out that I don't know of, but they're going to play 8 games. The SEC can play 10 and 11 games with a championship. So tell me what you think about the 8-game schedule the Big Ten's rolling out when these other conferences like the ACC and the SEC are going to play 10.
Well, that's not fair. There's no question about it. But there's no outside non-conference games to make comparisons, so I don't think it really matters. Let's be honest. If someone goes 8-0 or 9-0 in the Big Ten, they're going to be in one of the 14 playoff.
What if Florida goes 9-1 and Ohio State goes 8-1 or 8-0? Florida goes 9-1 or Florida goes 8-2. You know, and you've got Ohio State playing teams like Northwestern and Minnesota and Illinois and Indiana and whatever their schedule looks like.
Their argument is we have teams that play Vanderbilt, Arkansas, and Missouri. So
I know, but there's 2 extra games.
Here's the point. The Big Ten champ is going to be in. This year, there's going to be 2 SEC teams. You can put it right now.
And Clemson. 2 SEC teams. Now, and then you have Clemson.
I think so many people are tired of the Big 12. I love Lincoln Riley and his program, but they've been given way too many chances to get into the 14 playoff, and they haven't won a game. So I just think with the SEC playing 10 SEC games, now it depends on how you play in the championship game and who those 2 losses, if they have 2 losses, are to. I think you get 2 SEC teams in this year. I mean, there's still a lot of football. The Big Ten, to me, I don't know why they're waiting so long. They could play what Florida's been practicing forever. Yeah. And they play next week. I don't know why the Big Ten can't practice for about 2 weeks and play. I mean, because they're risking they're going to have no bye weeks, so they're risking that opportunity. If something happens, they're not going to be able to make up those games.
Well, and you know, I think a lot of this is done. Some of this decision making has been done because of the improvements in their mind. At least this is what we're hearing, that the protocols and procedures for testing has dramatically improved in the last 30 days, shockingly. And so here we are. But without the pressure that the parents and the coaches and the supporters of some of these Big Ten programs, without that pressure, I don't think we would have seen this, regardless of what the protocols would have been. I don't think some of these people in the Big Ten want to play football. I just think that the majority of them do, and that's good enough to get them back on the field. And you're right. I don't know why it's going to take so long, but they're coming out with so much medical mumbo jumbo and so much bureaucracy with regards to keeping track and tracking this disease. Every school now has got a chief infection officer. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of things that they're going to have to deal with off the field that could distract, in a way, some of these guys on the field. But I understand that at least it's better than not playing, in my mind. But who knows? I mean, in a month from now, if we see a surge in infections or whatever happens in Indiana or Minnesota or Wisconsin, who knows if they're really going to kick off. I think they're planning on it, but it's still a month and a half away almost. I mean, it's a long time. October 24th is darn near Halloween. So, I mean, that's still a good ways off, you know, when you think about it, QB.
Yeah, and I don't know what the Pac-12 is deciding to do. I think they still want to play.
They want to play, but they're running into problems with the states. The state of California, the state of Oregon, they've basically locked everybody up over there. And just getting out to practice is difficult for these schools in the Pac-12. So it's unfortunate for them. They have been victimized in this conference, and I've said this over and over again, and I truly believe it. The Pac-12 is victimized by 2 things. It's victimized by demographics, and it's victimized by geography. Geography in the sense that it's hard to travel and watch your team play on the road or travel to something as simple as a championship game. And demographics, because there's so many people in California and out there out west, they just don't care enough about football. You can see it in their facilities. You can see it in the money they spend or don't spend. And it really isn't that big a thing in that part of the country as it is in this part of the country. I think that's pretty obvious.
Well, it's not just football. They just don't care about
Sports.
college athletics out there,
Right.
period.
College
They got too much
sports,
other
correct.
stuff going on.
That's right. Yeah.
We got a Facebook Live comment here brought to you by Meldon Law, where you matter most. Rick says, that Stanley Cup answer is just like a politician who doesn't want to lose any votes. Good job, JC. Maybe you should get in the political arena.
Well, I can be politically sports correct too. I mean, tell Rick, listen, if I have to really pick, I mean, if you put a gun to my head, God forbid, I had to pick, I guess I would root for Tampa. That's the Florida team. That's the team I've gone to the most to watch. And I've had the more fun at Tampa Bay Lightning games than I can remember. But Dallas is right there in the entertainment value of it and with the fun. I mean, it's just, these are two great places to watch hockey games. Rick, thank you for the question, though.
So, JC, back to college football. Any games on your radar to watch this weekend?
You know, what's Notre Dame doing? I don't know why I care about Notre Dame because
they play South Florida. They will destroy South Florida.
Yeah, and I
South
knew
Florida's horrible.
Yeah, I just think to myself, you know, Notre Dame gets this ACC gig right now. It's a rent-a-year for Notre Dame, and I think they might be the only team that might even stay on the field with Clemson for 3 quarters out of the 4. But I really look at these matchups, and there's nothing tremendous here. I think UCF is playing at Georgia Tech. That could be an interesting game for people here on a local level. But as I go down the list, there's really nothing that stands out as being really exciting for me in terms of this is must-see TV. You know, Oklahoma State, Tulsa, Lafayette and Georgia State, Austin Peay and Cincinnati. I mean, I think next week for me is when it really gets going and when I'll finally get really jacked up about the schedule and watching TV for 7 hours during the day.
Well, it's because the SEC will be playing. That's why.
Totally. And I think eventually the Big 12 gets some conference matchups going like Texas and Oklahoma, and then we get Oklahoma State in there. That could be interesting to watch for those folks in the Midwest. But the fact that the Big Ten is coming back to play, even though it's a month and a half away or 5 weeks away, at least gives them something to look forward to and to think about. But here in the SEC, next week, it's going to be a 10-game conference schedule. And we've said this before, this is going to be something that people are going to like so much that in spite of your love for small college football, and that's okay, I just don't know if the schedule maker is going to come out and put 4 cupcakes on Alabama's schedule going forward. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Maybe they'll stay at 8 conference games, but maybe they won't after this year. And if we ever want to get a 9-game conference schedule so that we have more crossover matches in more frequent times, then I think this could show us how much that adds value and credibility to the scheduling here in the SEC. And maybe they will go to 9 games after this season. That's what I'm hoping for that comes out of this, to tell you the truth, because I think an 8-game schedule, although it might be good for the teams in terms of rankings, I don't think it's great for the fans because you got 4 games with maybe one of them being competitive outside of the conference. I don't like that. I mean,
we know you don't. We know you don't. I don't have a problem.
I don't think Buddy Martin likes it either.
Well, who cares what he likes? But my point, see, what you guys don't understand, is it gives so many kids. I mean, I sound like a broken record. You guys can't listen.
No, that's great, QB, but that's not what we're here for. I'm glad that these kids get it.
Okay. Again, if you had a kid that had an opportunity to play football at Troy University, you would have a different mindset. If you had a kid that had the opportunity to play at Southern Miss or South Alabama or one of those schools, your attitude would be totally different. Y'all are looking at it from the wrong standpoint.
Well, but see, I get what you're saying, but the fact of the matter is there's not many people out there who do have those kids because
that is
first
a lie. Look at all the kids playing.
Playing college football is a hard thing in itself. I mean, not many kids go from high school into college football. I mean, the majority of kids don't go to college to play football. But I see what you're saying. Okay, that's great for them. I don't mind if they want to play each other on Saturday. I just don't want to watch it. So, I mean,
but you would if you had a kid that did it.
Okay, maybe I would. I would also watch my kid on the floor of Congress if he were writing bills, QB. But I don't watch C-SPAN every day either.
Well, that's a bad analogy.
Oh, why?
I'm just telling you. Here's the thing, JC. You know, it goes back because I argue with Buddy about it all the time. Because when you coach kids, look at the NFL. Look at the NFL. How many of those kids I bet you majority of the NFL is made up of non-Power 5 players. I bet if somebody did.
I would disagree with that.
Well, it's going to be a lot more non-Power 5 players in that league than you think. I promise you.
I don't think it's the majority.
Okay,
but
real quick,
that's what you just said.
Who is the greatest running back in the history of the
I don't
NFL?
care if it's Walter Payton or Jerry Rice. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
That's great. But the greatest quarterback in the NFL was a Power 5 guy who was drafted probably in the 6th round. The other greatest quarterback in NFL history was played in the Pac-12. Okay, and I don't even think he was a starter. That would be Aaron Rodgers, maybe. So
he went to a junior college. He went to a junior college.
He went to Cal after he went to a junior college.
Right, but my point is he went to a junior college. Okay,
nobody
do you
cares
want to get rid of junior college football?
No, I didn't say get rid of it. But look, Cam Newton had to go to a junior college too, but everybody knows what he did at Auburn, not at Texas. And listen, when he won his state championship in JUCO, Texas, that's great, wonderful, but we don't talk about that, QB.
No, we don't. But it's not about talking about it. There's nothing wrong with those kids playing the Floridas and the Alabamas.
You should have a Kent State, MAC, Florida Atlantic, and Florida International hour on the podcast one of these days.
You're damn right I should.
Well, do it. Come up with your small college segment. Go for it. See how that rolls. Do it. Do it.
So you as a fan, would you rather watch Marshall play Appalachian State or Alabama play Vanderbilt?
Alabama play Vanderbilt.
You're crazy as hell.
It's my school. I'm not. What the hell do I want to watch
Okay. Let's just say Florida play Alabama.
Of course.
No, Florida play South Alabama, or watch Marshall and App State play. Which would
I would rather watch Florida play South Alabama.
See, I disagree
100% of the time. You're not coming over to my house to watch Appalachian State play Western Virginia Tech. You're not watching that. You're coming over to watch the Gators. That's what you do.
Because
that's what everybody does.
It goes back to the public not understanding the big picture of collegiate athletics and football.
Guess what? The public is going to understand what they want to understand, and they're going to pay for what they want to pay for. And I'm telling you, people don't like paying for the Western Carolinas to roll into the swamp.
Then don't go. Don't go.
Most of them don't. But they bring their kids. But I mean, okay, so great.
That's fine.
But
don't go to that game if you got a problem with it.
Okay, that's great, but that's not what it's about for me. I don't want to watch games with empty stadiums and exhibition scores. That's not fun for me.
Okay, so tell me this: if you had a kid that played football at Alabama, if you had a kid that played football at Alabama, and he never played a down, and then Georgia Southern rolls in. He's standing on the sideline. The game is 52-0, and they put your kid in the game. How are you going to feel?
It'd be great, QB. It'd be great.
You're in another world. You're in another world. Okay. You don't understand.
I'll tell you what. I have a feeling
you ask Coach Spurrier
is more populated than the world you're in.
You ask any college coach, the feeling they get when they can put a walk-on or a 4-string scholarship kid that has not played, when they get their opportunity to play in a game. And you watch the sideline of the starters, how they react. Mm-hmm. That's why until you're on a team or coach a team, people do not understand that aspect.
I understand how exciting it is for them, but for the 80,000 people watching.
But people don't care about them. They're not the ones practicing every day. They're not the ones that put in the sweat and do it all year long. They deserve that opportunity. That's my point. Whether a fan wants to pay or not, who cares? Who cares if the fan wants to play?
You're asking me. I'm a fan.
Right. So my point is the players don't care if you come to that game because they have an opportunity to play in a huge environment with an opportunity of a lifetime they'll remember the rest of their life.
If you're going to ask me which game I'm looking forward to this weekend, it's really hard to pick. But I would say that if I had to watch a game that was, I had to watch it for 4 hours, it would probably be Notre Dame and South Florida, just because I want to see whether or not Notre Dame can really blow someone out.
They will blow them out. The best game is Miami-Louisville.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't.
All right, JC, we run out of time. You go watch the reruns of Alabama-Florida that you got in there.
All right, I'll go watch the reruns. Thank you for that. Have a good weekend.
JC, join us on the Titan MR hotline at Center State Bank. We put business first. We are the largest community bank in the state of Florida and understand that small businesses need a community business partner that they can rely on. Center State has 5 convenient Alachua County locations to serve you better. Center State Bank, member FDIC. Going to take a time out here. When we come back, we'll be joined by head swimming coach Anthony Nesty. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. We'll be right back.
Hey Gator Nation, this is your former head ball coach Steve Spurrier. Check out our show Inside the Huddle with Shane Matthews and Steve Russell every Tuesday during football season on 8:50 a.m. and 98.1 FM WRUF at 10 o'clock a.m.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our Gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility.
GTS Handyman Services, whether you need carpet cleaning or expert painting in Gainesville, they are the team to hire.
Meldon Law, where you matter most. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte.
Celebration Point Town Center, Center State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, TB Financial, Meadowbrook Golf Course, Dar Shakow Insurance, Pomodoro Cafe,
Big Mills Cheesesteaks,
MB Listing, Cornerstone Financial, McDonald's Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie, Chick-fil-A on Archer Road, Aver and Smith Personal Injury Attorneys, Orange Theory Fitness, PRP Regeneration Specialist, and Dowling Signs.
Again, thank you for all the great businesses that support the show. Please remember, if you like what we are doing here, thank our sponsors and support the businesses that support us.
Welcome back to this Friday edition of PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Celebration Point's where the Gators come to celebrate with premium brands like Bass Pro Shop, Tommy Hilfiger, Hotel Indigo, Nike, Medici's, Regal Cinemas, and coming spring 2021, HBC's new restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, and Visor's Rooftop Bar. We will see you at Celebration Point where the Gators come to celebrate. Now we're going to go back to the Titan MR hotline, and we're joined by former Gator All-American, Hall of Famer, now the head coach of the swimming team, Anthony Nesty. Good morning, Anthony. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on, Shane.
Absolutely. Well, Anthony, let's go back to you as a youngster. You grew up in Suriname.
Right.
I'm not smart enough to know where that is.
Maybe you can. It's South America, and it's the northeast corner, and used to be Dutch Guiana. So.
Okay. So did you grow up? I mean, do a lot of people grow up swimming in that area?
You can say that, yes, because there's, obviously there's, lots of lakes, lots of, rivers and creeks, and it's pretty hot and humid down there. So you always, to cool off, sometimes you just hop in. Obviously into the pool, but where I grew up, it was mostly I grew up in the capital, and when you go out of town and on vacations, you're always going to places with their rivers or beautiful lakes or creeks. So,
gotcha. All right, so you come to the U.S., I believe, as a youngster from swim meets or what have you, and then tell us how you ended up going to high school at Bowles there in Jacksonville.
Well, I was 16 when I moved to Bowles, to the U.S., and then attended Bowles. My obviously, when I was 14, 15, I was a pretty good swimmer back home, and I was kind of winning all the regional meets in the Caribbean and South America, and my dad wanted me to explore going to the States, because most kids in Suriname, once they graduate high school, they don't stick to the sport any longer, especially swimming, because swimming is so demanding to begin with, and so it's either go to the States and find a a good high school with dorms that you can continue your career. But my dad, he back then you had to write letters, right? So my dad wrote, Greg Troy and at the Bowl School, and I believe he another school we contacted was Pinecrest, I think. And out of the two schools, Bowles was the only school that replied. So by default, I went there.
Well, Bowles has had some tremendous swimmers come out of there. Let me ask you this. It's hard enough for parents to, when their kids get to go off to college, it doesn't matter if you live here in Gainesville and you're sending your kid to Tallahassee. It's difficult for parents to let their kids go. How difficult was that for you just to go away for high school?
I think the biggest shocker for me was, the weather. That's number one. Obviously, there's some cultural differences, the language, and Suriname, we speak Dutch. So, but, I was pretty fluent in English, and I had I adjusted pretty well and pretty easily. I was always an independent guy, so I didn't have any problems. Obviously, the big concern of any parent is when you send a kid off, to high school, college, is it safe? Are they going to have pretty good people surrounding them, from the coaching staff to the athletes in the program and the student body. But as you well know, Bose is a fantastic school, fantastic in athletics as well. And my parents had no concern at that point, because they knew I was in a good environment. Coach Troy runs a pretty tight ship, so they had no worries about that.
So when it got time, once you were done at Bowles, obviously it was almost like a foregone conclusion that you were probably going to come to Florida to swim. Did you have any thoughts of going anywhere else to swim in college?
Well, I visited two schools. One was Florida, and the other one was Texas. And I chose Florida because I was kind of used to, the Florida way of, North Florida way of life, so to speak, used to the weather. And it was pretty close for my family to visit, because, you fly to Miami and then you can hop on another flight to Jacksonville or Gainesville or whichever airport you would like to fly into. But it was a pretty easy decision. And the program was fantastic. So, and the thing what really impressed me about Florida, there's just a history as far as the Olympics are concerned, because I think we have the most Olympians than any program in the country. And you're talking medals. We're pretty good as far as getting people swimming at a high level internationally, and of course the Olympics is where it's at for swimming. The Olympics is kind of our Super Bowl, if I can say.
Right. We're speaking with Anthony Nesty here. You can follow him on Twitter at Anthony_NestyUF. Speaking of the Olympics, I mean, you win I think it was the first gold medal for your country, and Correct. You beat an American, Matt Biondi. Talk a little bit what it was like being in the Olympics, first of all, and to win a gold medal. I mean, that had to be the ultimate feeling ever.
Well, I went to the '84 Olympics in Los Angeles. That was kind of my first go at it, but I wasn't ready for it, and I wasn't at that level to and soon after that, in '85, I kind of left Suriname for Bowles, and the Olympics is what every swimmer dreams of going to, and especially if you medal, that's kind of icing on the cake for us, because it's such a like I said before, that's kind of our Super Bowl, so that's kind of the highest achievement you can get as swimming is concerned, besides world records and and that other good stuff. But going into the '88 Olympics, I was ranked top 8. My goal at that point was just to make the finals. 8 make the finals, and I was ranked top 8 going into the Olympics, and my goal was if I made it to the finals, maybe I have a chance of getting a medal. But I wasn't thinking of getting a gold or silver. I was, my goal was to get to the final and hopefully just to squeak in a 3rd place or something. So, obviously, I had a pretty good race, and the most important thing that Randy was my coach here at UF, and he was always harp on us to attack the finish nonstop. And I mean, it was a constant reminder for the entire program and all the athletes. You can't let up until you touch the wall. So, and what I did there was, I had a great finish, and I hit the wall just right, and pretty lucky. Lucky, hard work, and it was pretty good moment for me.
Yeah. We got a text here on the Titan MR text line for you, Anthony. It comes from Bill. Bill wants to know, where do you keep your gold medal?
I keep it in a safe at home.
Okay, so you don't have it displayed at all?
No. I'm not that type of guy.
No, I know you're not, but I didn't know if, obviously when you're recruiting kids, do you pull it out?
No.
Wear it around?
No.
So Anthony, so you win the gold medal, and then you swim at Florida.
Right.
And you and I were there about the same time.
Yep.
I got to ask you this. The only other swimmer I've had on my program, I've had Dara Torres. And you guys are crazy. The way y'all trained, and then y'all would throw these crazy parties. And I just don't know how y'all did it. I mean, was it just that y'all trained so hard, y'all had to have some fun and didn't care how bad you felt? I mean, it amazed me.
No, it's it's life of a swimmer, I guess. But those are the old days. But things have changed as far as the party scene, because obviously we grew up at a different time too. So
right.
But the discipline, it's like you said, you got to blow off some steam, and that was kind of a common thing that, for swimmers is to train hard and party hard, I guess.
Yeah. Y'all did it it was unbelievable. So when you look back at your Gator career,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you set numerous records, y'all won many championships. Is there one moment in your Florida Gator swimming career that stands out the most to you?
Probably it's either 90 or 91 when because the 100 fly was my best event. And the 200 fly was kind of my second best event, and then on paper I was always slated to win the 100, but not the 200. But I believe in 90 or 91, I won the 200 fly as well, and that's usually people that win the 100 may or may not win the 200. So I think that NC2A meet stands out the most. But I won both the 100 and 200 fly.
Let me ask you this. We're going to get in. I mean, once you left Florida, obviously you coached around different places.
Right.
Then you come back to the University of Florida. But I want to ask you, when a swimmer comes in, do you know, like, he's a butterfly guy or he's a freestyle guy? When does a swimmer decide? Because in sports, it's usually, okay, you got to determine if you're going to be a football player, a baseball player, or a basketball player. How does a swimmer determine, okay, I'm going to excel in the backstroke?
Well, I mean, it's you look at what they're good at in high school, and obviously they're in swimming it's all about time, right? So if your time is good to compete in the SEC out of high school, that's what you're going to compete in when you get to college. But the really talented athletes, they can do it all, and we have a couple of guys like that on our team that are very versatile. They're good at many things, but usually when they come out of high school, you kind of know what they're going to compete in college.
Gotcha. We got a couple of Facebook Live comments here for Anthony Nesty, head men's swimming coach here at the University of Florida. Francis says, how do you go about recruiting swimmers to come to UF? Our grandson is a swimmer in Charlottesville, Virginia, and has been training. His training schedule is insane, and his goal is to swim at Florida.
Well, I mean, we try to recruit good people first and foremost, good students, because obviously Florida's getting, I tell people all the time, Florida's really good athletically, but academically it's equally as good. So good people, good students, and we like guys in our program that they make the program better. Sometimes it's not always it doesn't show up on the on the scoreboard all the time, but we have guys here that are high performers. We have guys here that don't perform as well as they should, but they add something to the program. Whether it's making good decisions, keeping guys out of trouble, just being a good being a good team guy, being somebody that's always there for having empathy. That's kind of we look for good students, good people, and and then sometimes they're also good swimmers.
We got another Facebook Live question here brought to you by Meldon Law, where you matter most. Jeff wants to know, Anthony, how do our facilities compare to those of other schools?
Well, I mean, our facility, was opened up in 1980, and so that tells you.
Yeah, we're a little behind. We're a little behind, no question.
But they've done some upgrades to that the last, I think, 5-10 years ago, and they were planning on doing another upgrade to it next year, but obviously with COVID, that's not going to happen anytime soon. But is it the best facility? Probably not, but it's a great training facility because we have both short course, long course, short course meters, water we can have. So from a standpoint of training, it's a great setup. But could it be a better pool? Of course, as coaches.
Can you give our listeners kind of a breakdown of just whether it's a daily training schedule, maybe a week, how often the kids are in the pool, and how much the running stadiums and all this other crazy stuff y'all do?
Well, we have 9 practices a week. So we go Monday, Tuesday we go AM and PM. So 2 practices.
Yeah. What time is the AM practice?
Monday we start at 5.
Yeah.
We used to be, so Monday we're 5 to 7, 1 to 3. Tuesday they get to sleep in a little bit. We'll 7 to 9, 3 to 5. Wednesday we're 1 to 3. Thursday similar to Tuesday, 7 to 9, 3 to 5. And then Friday we go 5 to 7 again, and then Saturday we go 8:30. So.
Yeah, crazy stuff. So I got to ask you this, Anthony. Coaching kids, you've been coaching a long time, being a tremendous swimmer, and I'm just trying to picture, on the football field or on the basketball court or wherever, if you make a mistake, the coach is up in your face, screaming and yelling. Do you ever, yell at your swimmers? And if you yell at, the reason I'm asking is because it's kind of an odd situation. You know, when a kid is swimming, you can't really, you know, you didn't stroke the proper way. You know, I don't know the swimming terms, but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do the swimming coaches do that?
Oh yeah, we you know, we do all of that. We yell a lot, we whistle a lot. I'm pretty. I tell people all the time that you get better in practice, right? And I'm pretty intense, pretty passionate in practice, because if you can't do things well in practice, you know, it's not going to show up on you know, game day or meet day for us. Obviously, when they swim, you can't give them feedback, whether it's you know. So, but when they do come to the wall, sometimes you give guys an earful if they're doing something incorrect, or if they're doing something correct. So
right. I was going to ask you this too, because you know your sport is so unique. You know, in football, we have to watch our opponent. You know, break down, try to take advantage of certain things. You know, you can't really play defense in swimming. You know, the guy next to you, you just got to swim faster than him. Do y'all like watch tape? So like, say you and I are swimming against one another. Do you watch tape on me to see like what we need to do to outswim me? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. We don't watch film on other athletes. You tend to see every athlete throughout the year, especially in the summer. But you can pick up a couple of tendencies. Hey, the guy has a great start. His start is awful. Has a great turn. Or he goes out fast, or he comes back fast, and so you know, you pick up their tendencies, but for this, it's really hard to you know, obviously football is different because you try to scout your opponent, but for us, the scouting is all about you know, who you're going to put in what event to basically win the meet. So,
gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So we got a text here from Larry. Larry wants to know, what is the status of the Florida swim team right now with COVID? Like, well, meaning, you know, when are y'all practicing?
Yeah, we are practicing. Obviously, you know, social distancing. We can only have 2 athletes per lane, 1 at each end. So that kind of makes it a lot harder because, you know, usually you have all the guys in one pool and one tank, so to speak. But now you have guys at opposite side, and we have 3 different pools. So it's a lot of work, but we're thankful that UF Health has done the job to you know, have us practice. So we're pretty fortunate.
So Anthony, in 2002, you were inducted into the University of Florida Athletic Hall of Fame. What was that like?
Well, it was you know, obviously it's such an awesome event put together by Gator boosters, and I, you know, I have to tell people this, that but I bring you up all the time, Shane, because you know, when you did your speech, you talked about you know, leaving the tunnel for the first time, and Coach Spurrier gave you that first play, and it was a 60-yard, you know, and you were surprised that he gave you the play in the tunnel, and I tell that, I mean, I was at that game, so and I remember that to the T. It was an awesome, but yeah, it's a great honor, as you well know, you know, and from me personally, you know, swimming at a universities, especially Florida, and with all the Olympians, you know, with all the great support you get from, you know, the strength and conditioning, the nutrition staff, the trainers, the academic advisors. It's just a top-notch program, and to be honored as a Hall of Famer of this great university it's special. And I tell people all the time that Florida's so unique and special that I'm a Hall of Famer for forever. So it's
yes, indeed. Last thing for you, Anthony, we got a text here from Susie. She wants to know, are any of the Olympic athletes training here in Gainesville?
Yeah, obviously, Caleb Dressel is still in town. He's training with the Gators Swim Club pro group. Ryan Lochte is still in town training with a pro group, and several others. We're supposed to have an Olympic this past summer, but it's postponed to next year. So right now we don't have anyone qualified for the Olympics yet. So hopefully we have a couple Gators representing their respective countries, and also the Gators as well. So,
well, good stuff, my man. Hey, do you ever, when these hot shots come in as like freshmen, do you ever say, okay, me and you on the blocks, we're gonna see what you got? You ever try to outswim them?
20 years ago, maybe, but not now.
All right, Anthony. Hey, man, appreciate you joining us. Y'all stay safe, and good luck this year, my man.
Thanks, Shane. Have a great weekend, and awesome show. Thank you.
Thanks. That's Anthony Nesty, head men's swimming coach and UF Hall of Fame. We're going to take our last time out of the program. When we come back, we'll wrap this thing up. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios.
This is Shane Matthews. Thank you for listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning. You can also check me out on Inside the Huddle with Steve Russell and the head ball coach Steve Spurrier. Tune in every Tuesday during football season on WRUF 98.1 FM, 8:50 a.m. at 10 o'clock in the morning, or find us on your favorite podcast platform.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. GTS Handyman Services, whether you need carpet cleaning or expert painting in Gainesville, they are the team to hire. Meldon Law, where you matter most. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte.
Celebration Point Town Center, Center State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, The Digital Mortgage Guy, Adams Ribs, Doreen Wiebe Realtor Caldwell Banker MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Davis Gainesville Chevrolet, Miapa Latin Cafe, Rap Spot, Okido America, Gators Dockside, Radware, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, TB Financial, Meadowbrook Golf Course, Dar Shakow Insurance.
Again, thank you for all the great businesses that support the show. Please remember, if you like what we are doing here, thank our sponsors and support the businesses that support us.
Welcome back to PodUp from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Chris Doring Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today, 352-244-0840. Let's see. This Day in Sports is brought to you by GTS, Gainesville's premier maintenance company. Whether you need carpet cleaning or expert painting, fences mended, or any handyman services, call GTS, 352-363-6622. This Day in Sports in 1997, Seve Ballesteros and Nick Faldo elected to the World Golf Hall of Fame back in 1997, brought to you by GTS, Gainesville's premier maintenance company. Really want to thank JC for joining us, but definitely Anthony Nesty, UF Hall of Famer, now the head swim coach for the men's team, does a tremendous job, has had a tremendous career, winning a gold medal. I think it's funny he keeps his gold medal locked up in a safety deposit box. But next week, we got a great lineup. We're going to have JC Deacon, men's golf coach here at Florida, join us. He'll also recap U.S. Open. We got two Gators in there, Billy Horschel, and then one of his players, Ricky Castillo, is playing. And then Tuesday, we have Mark McGriff with Buddy Martin. We got Bobby Bowden on Wednesday. Make sure you tune in. Brent Beard and our high school folks on Thursday. And then big Mark Campbell, big defensive tackle for Coach Spurrier, who's a longtime strength coach here and at South Carolina, will join the program. Make sure you like us and follow us on Facebook Live, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. And remember, Peachland Dentistry is Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte and surrounding areas. Visit them at peachlanddental.com. Be safe out there, folks. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Take care.